Hi, welcome to Triggered Care. I'm Alex. This is a video request from another Discord peep, so let's get right into it. Somebody asked me how to say no in regards to setting boundaries with people and knowing your limitations of how you overcome the need and the instinct to say yes to anything that anybody asks of you. And this took me a while personally to work on, and I still struggle with it, but I've made some progress. So here are some things that have helped me say no for when I need to, and hopefully they're helpful for you. So, first tip that I got is I changed my perspective of am I physically able to do it to will I be mentally able to handle it? Because those are two very different things. What would always get me to say yes for the longest time would be like, well, I'm a person, right? And I have a body and I can move it. So I can do anything. And what helped me say no is realizing that when I'm disassociated in doing things, it can not only affect me in a negative way, but it can affect the people that I'm around in a negative way. And so changing that goal from having no boundaries and just being like, use my body however you want, to I want to be grounded. I want to be well connected to my body when I'm with other people. Because I really don't like being disassociated around other people. It can be really unpleasant and really uncomfortable. So, changing those goals of if I am going to do something for somebody or work on whatever that somebody asked me to work on, I want to be present for that. I want to have all my brain to work with, not just my autopilot disassociated brain. My next tip is just practicing saying no to yourself. Like when you're alone, just saying no out loud to get your body and your mind used to it. I know that kind of sounds silly, but like rehearsing really does help. It you have to put that as an option in your brain in order to use it with other people. And it will still take a long while to be comfortable saying, no, I'm not able to do that. But the first baby step you can take towards that is just practicing by yourself. Because then there's not that anticipation of, oh, how will that person react? Or, oh, I'm being selfish. You're literally just doing it for yourself, for the option to do it. Because sometimes people do have to say no to helping people out. And my last tip is lots of self-esteem work. And the first chunk of this is I had to come to the realization that we all own our own feelings. So if I say no to someone and they get upset at me, those are their feelings of upset and they own them. Just like I own the feelings of no, I am not able to help you do this. And taking on the responsibility that's only yours. And I feel like, especially when you grew up in an abusive household, we are used to taking on all the responsibility for everything. So cutting that back and just being like, you know what, I'm only responsible for myself. And I have to take that responsibility seriously for myself and for the people that I love and care about, so they get a better, well-grounded me when I am present and when I am in their life. And so learning how to accept that other people will get upset sometimes when you're not able to help them out. And not like, oh, well, too bad for them. I've you can be apologetic and like, I'm sorry, I really can't do that. I don't have the brain space for it. And they may be upset, but also in an ideal world, they'll understand. Sometimes they won't understand. And in that sort of relationship, that's a codependency that can really inhibit recovery time and make life more difficult. But that is for another video of how to handle codependency. Also, a chunk of self-esteem work is trusting your own judgment of what you can handle. It took me a while to trust my own judgment of, do I know better than somebody else about me? Because for the longest time, it was my mother knew more about what I could do than I did. And then romantic partners would know more than I did. Or whoever it was that I was being codependent with, they would know better than me what I'm capable of. And switching that to, hey, actually, this is my body. This is my brain. I am going to be the expert on what I can handle and what I can't handle. And trusting your gut instincts and trusting that little voice in your head that's like, I really can't do this. And instead of just pushing yourself repeatedly to go over your own boundaries, to go over your own limits, allowing that to rest a bit. And that comes to the last chunk of self-esteem work, is recognizing that trauma not only has an emotional impact on your brain, but a physical one as well. And respecting that brain injury from trauma. Respecting that you're going to have activations and triggers that you cannot control. And it is more than okay to rest instead of igniting those and being extremely stressed out because somebody asked you to do a favor. You need rest. Trauma survivors, we need a lot of rest, especially while we're processing trauma. Even when we're stagnant and we're not thinking about our trauma all the time, but our body and our brain are still in weird moods, we need to rest. And our body and our brain will do its best to tell us when it needs that rest. And it's our job to listen to that, to allow recovery to actually get on its way and not putting it off by helping everybody who needs help. So these are just a few of the things that have helped me. If you have other tips or thoughts, feel free to share them. Thank you for everyone who's been watching, and I hope everybody has good ones.